And one thing I want to tell all of you, questions don't come and bite. The answers come and bite. Fragen bissen nicht, beißen nicht. Antworten dagegen.
Gurudev, ich habe eine Frage über das Fragen stellen.
Ja.
Du sagtest einmal, dass wir nicht neugierige Fragen stellen sollen, sondern wissbegierige. Und ich merke, dass manche Fragen entstehen und ich aber nicht weiß, ob das eine Frage ist, die ich fragen kann, ob das eine neugierige Frage ist oder eine wissbegierige Frage.
Mach nicht. If you have a question in your mind, don't have to analyze so much. Now, if you make a wrong question, then you will get the wrong reply.
Okay.
I mean, not the wrong reply. You will be told, don't ask this question.
Okay.
So don't worry about it. If you have a question.
Okay, then I have a question. Wir haben in Chaitanya Bhagavat gelesen, an der Stelle, als Nimal alles zusammengeschlagen hat aus Wut und Ärger, da sagtest du, dass er kein Rudra...
Keiner?
Rudra? Ist das richtig? Dass das Rudra-Rasa...
Rudra-Rasa.
Genau, in der spirituellen Welt nicht existiert.
None is exist. Her question is, there's a pastime of young Nimai, who, very small boy, he was not even young, he was a small baby, little, just about learning how to crawl. And he smashed everything down on the floor, and it was complete chaos. So the question is that I had said that this is an exhibition of Rudra, or anger, rasa, one of the 7 subsidiary rasas, Rudra, which in the spiritual world, in the non-manifest pastimes, a prakat lila, it cannot be experienced to the fullest extent. It is there in the form of sanchari bhav. Now that is a little complicated. I don't think one should delve too much into the subject matter at this level of our spiritual development. Okay? So in this aprakat lila means those pastimes which we cannot see. Then the pastimes in the spiritual world. And there are 5 types of bhava, which nourish rasa. Rasa is nourished through bhava. And one of the nourishing bhava which also gives a variegatedness in the rasa is called sanchari bhav. There are a total of 33 sanchari bhavs, and one of them is Rudra. But this exhibition of anger in the spiritual world and in this pastime is only as a means of variegatedness, to create a new kind of ambience, bring in a new taste in the rasa, new taste. In the material world, in the earthly pastimes of the Lord, all these rasas can be experienced as prominent rasas. Uh, for example, in the spiritual world, there are no pots and pans in kitchen because nobody is hungry, nobody is thirsty, so there's no cooking going on there. So pots and pans full of grains and flour and rice and oil, these are not there in the spiritual world. So little Nimai wanted to see a river of oil with all the grains and everything flowing along. He likes to see, he's amazed.
It is said that if you go to the spiritual world, you never fall down.
Yes.
If you go into the spiritual world and never fall down, how is it that Krishna, when he advents on the earth, for example, I can't speak of the other planets, but on earth, he comes with his entourage, who, it is preempted in my silly mind, it's probably the reason, but it's preempted that they were also in the spiritual world as eternal associates of the Lord. How are they adventing on this material platform,
No, they advent in the material world, but not in the material. They are untouched by material energy. It is like a bubble which is created, full of, the whole bubble is transcendence, non-different from the spiritual world. So they never experience any of the factors that influence material life. Three modes of material nature, time, and duality. These are the three most important of material existence. So they don't experience any of this. And it's not a fall down. It's an accompaniment of Krishna to participate in his pastimes. So
one may interpret it in that way. As if
that's wrong, but that's wrong. Cannot be interpreted in that way because, first of all, they are never separated from their devotion. They are completely fixed in their devotion to the Supreme Lord. So therefore, they are never separated from their devotion. They are also never separated from the transcendental energy because they are in the transcendental energy. So there's no question that any of these associates of the Lord are influenced by time, by duality, by three modes of material nature, by karma, none of these. So it is not actually a fall down, it is simply, descending along with the Lord.
With a purpose.
To participate in the Lord's pastimes.
I have not exactly a question, but I would like to explain. I was reading Srila Prabhupada, and one of the purport, he says, and in fact he quotes Mundak Upanishad, and the quote is, the Supreme Lord is not obtained by expert explanations, by vast intelligence, or even by much theory. He is obtained only by one whom he himself chooses. To such a person, he manifests his own form. Will you please explain?
Mundaka Upanishad.
Many Upanishads. You've just quoted one only. Even in the Gita, Krishna himself is saying that.
Why does offenses lead to sense gratification?
Does not necessarily leads to sense gratification, but the alternative is sense gratification because the soul's desire is to enjoy. So if there is no enjoyment in his sadhana, performing sadhana, and due to offense, he deviates into material life again, then the desire for enjoyment is always there. So what can you enjoy in the material world? Senses. So he goes into sense enjoyment. But it is not as a factor of that. One can also, by performing impious activities, one can also enjoy the senses. Not necessarily by committing offense. One may not commit offense, just like Ajamil. You know the story of Ajamil? You've heard it. No? So now he was performing almost all abominable activities. He was stealing, he was robbing, and he was living with a prostitute without any rules, regulations, nothing. He was not performing any pious activities. He was not performing any yagyas, nothing like that. But he also never committed an offense. And that is why, just simply by chanting one time Lord Narayan, it was Namabhas. Just by one chanting. And all his sinful reactions that he had been performing for such a long time were completely burned to ashes. Completely burned to ashes. And Lord Narayan immediately sent his own dutas, that is his own guards, and did not allow him to go to the planet of the dead, Jamraj. Didn't have to go to Jamraj. So because he never committed an offense. So it's not that if you commit sinful activities that you are automatically committing an offense. But the other is true. If you commit an offense, then you certainly will commit sinful activities.
And did he notice that his chanting was so powerful?
Sorry?
Did he know that his chanting was so powerful?
No, he did not know. He wasn't even chanting with the intention of chanting his name. He was taking the name of his son. His son's name was Narayan. So when he saw these Jamdutas, the messengers of Jam, they're very ferocious looking, very dark and very muscular body with he was very strong. So he became afraid just to see. So first thing he thought about his son. Ajamil, oh, these hideous beings, these ferocious looking creatures, oh, I hope they don't do anything to my son. That was his first reaction, protective. So he called out, oh Narayan. But he was calling out to his son.
Gurudev, du sagtest einmal, das Einzige, was Karma entwurzeln kann, ist das Raslila von einem reinen Gottgeweihten zu hören. Habe ich das richtig?
Nein, das sind mehrere Sachen. There are many things, but by hearing from a pure devotee, Harikatha, of course, he will speak only Harikatha, then you purify. Your heart is purified. But there are so many ways you can nullify, neutralize your karma by visiting the dham here, by chanting Krishna's name only one time, by offering obeisances to Tulsi Devi. All your offenses are gone. All your karma will be nullified.
Und ich hatte das in Zusammenhang mit Lust, hattest du das erwähnt, dass das Raslila, also zu hören, dass es das Einzige ist, was Lust entwurzeln kann.
Ja.
Und wie kommt das, dass das Einzige ist? Also was ist...
Wieso? Warum ist das Einzige? Es ist so. Es ist einfach so. Whatever the scriptures are saying, We just have to accept it, not why. There's no question of why. Just accept it. Because it is true. We may not have experienced it, but one day we will experience the truth of the scriptural injunctions. So there's no reason behind it. This is as it is. Yeah, this is as it is.
There's that shloka chant that Nityananda Prabhu chanted about saying the name even if you say it out of hela. Madhuram Madhuram.
Yeah. Not Adharam Madhuram.
Kitan Mangalam Mangalana. Sikhanani Mavalli Satphalam Chit Swarupam.
Yeah.
Sakridapi Pari. So can you explain that?
Sakridapi Parigitam.
Shraddhaya Helaya Va. Bhrigu Vara Nara Matram Tarayit Sri Krishna Nam.
Yes.
Adharam
Yeah.
Madhuram.
Not Adharam.
No?
Madhura Madhuram Mangala Mangalana.
Adharam Mani.
No, Adharam mane lips.
So even if you say it once.
No. Madhura Madhuram.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember the context? Maybe when he said it? Was it not in the Chiradai festival at that time?
No. Many times this has been said many times.
It's not by him.
No, it's not by him. This is from the some Purana.
Yeah,
Here,
Madhura.
Skanda Purana.
Huh?
Skanda Purana says.
Yes. Skanda Purana.
Madhura Madhuram.
Yes.
Etan Mangalam Mangalana. Sakala Nigama Valli Sat Phalam Chit Swarupam. Sakridapi Parikitam. Shraddhaya Helayava. Bhrigu Vara Nara Matram Tarayet Sri Krishna Nam.
Krishna Nam is the sweetest of all sweet things and the most auspicious amongst all auspicious vibrations. It is the pure fruit of the desired reaper of all the Vedic literature and the embodiment of divine knowledge. O best of the Bhrigu dynasty, if any person even once chants the holy name, either with faith or contempt, that name can eventually award him deliverance from his ocean of birth and death.
Yes. So that is how powerful the holy name is. Because the holy name is not affected at all by anything. Because holy name is completely independent and completely pure and transcendental. So there's nothing that can actually influence holy name. And the holy name is non-different from Krishna. So the Krishna is the supreme controller. The holy name is also the supreme controller. And the supreme controller never comes under the rule or control of anyone unless he wants to. Same thing is with holy name. Therefore, the holy name under all circumstances has always the same potency and same strength. And such is the potency of the holy name that even if one chants once, Sakrit Api, one time, anyway, doesn't matter, in any manner, angrily, with contempt, or with faith, just one time, then it will immediately give you liberation. So this is the potency of the holy name.
Du hast heute Morgen gesagt, auf der Stufe vom Nishta gibt es Loi. Loi? Schläfrigkeit?
It is one of the 5 hurdles, obstacles in Nishtha. So one has to overcome that.
Und unterscheidet sich diese Schläfrigkeit von der Materie? Ist das eine andere Art von Schläfrigkeit oder ist es einfach Schläfrigkeit? So wie wir es auch kennen.
Huh?
What type of sleepiness is meant here in what?
Hello?
Ist es das Gleiche, was man hier auch
Hast du das überlegt, genau? Ob da verschiedene Arten von Sleep gibt?
Vielleicht ist es was anderes. Eine andere Art von Müdigkeit.
Gibt es eine andere Art von Kauen, von Essen? Ob du Prasadam isst oder kein Prasadam. Kauen ist Kauen, Schlafen ist Schlafen. Da gibt es keinen Unterschied. Und vor allem Schlafen bedeutet eigentlich Stomas. Das heißt, auch in Nishtha, da kommt manchmal eine Spur von Tamagun, wenn man nicht aufpasst. Sonst ist es nicht da. It is not there. But when you're chanting, then, of course, when chanting, the person's mind becomes peaceful. And when the mind is peaceful, one can sleep, fall asleep easily. So therefore, one of the offenses in chanting the holy name is not to concentrate. Yeah? Not to concentrate. When chanting, one has to be concentrated. So this happens when one is not concentrating on chanting. Then the sleepiness comes. Yeah? The regular sleep, sleep you just go like that.
Es gibt doch auch irgendein Lied mit Madhuram.
Ja, das ist von, das gibt's von,
So schön.
what is the name of the singer, the writer?
That is Ballabacharya.
Shri
Und wie
Vallabhacharya.
fängt das an? Das ist hier drin eigentlich.
Adharam Madhuram. That is
Das ist Adharam Madhuram.
Adharam.
Das ist ein anderes.
Adharam. That's why I got it mixed up.
Aber das, ja. Und der erste Vers.
Das ist Adharam.
Das ist der erste Vers?
Ja.
Eigentlich ist das hier drin.
Vielleicht ist das nicht da?
Vielleicht, dachte ich.
Nein, nicht unbedingt. Hier sind nur Gaudiya-Lieder. Und das ist keine Gaudiya-Lieder. Aber kann sein.
Stimmt, das ist kein Grund. Hier, Adharam Madhuram Vadanam. 196.
So, na, Fragen, come on.
Wenn Familienangehörige versterben, habe ich ganz viele Male gesehen, dass die Menschen sich die Bilder aufhängen zu Hause als Erinnerung. Wie ist das für Devotees?
The question is, should one hang pictures of dead family members?
Yes.
Certainly should not do so. If you want to hang pictures of beautiful Krishna, beautiful Mahaprabhu, beautiful Gopal, or even a beautiful cow. Because by hanging the dead persons is not very auspicious. Not auspicious. Brings negative, especially to someone who's not strong, has a negative influence on that person. So hanging pictures of dead family members is not at all recommended. Actually, the Britishers introduced that. In India, we never had that.
Ich würde auch in Deutsch stellen, weil ich weiß das Wort in Englisch nicht dafür. Ich glaube, das ist ja auch unter Devotees passiert das mal Schadenfreude. Also so.
Gibt kein Wort für Englisch dafür.
Was?
Schadenfreude, das ist a word that doesn't exist.
I know what Schadenfreude is. Come tell me.
Wie hängt das zusammen?
Mit was?
Naja, wenn man vielleicht denkt, jetzt ist denen das auch mal passiert. Es ist ja nicht gerade nett eigentlich.
Du, was ist deine Frage? Warum machen Devotees so? Oder was?
Ja, oder also was macht das auch mit einem selber, wenn man das vielleicht macht?
It's envy. It's envy. Pure and simple envy.
Das gehört auch zu Neid.
Pure and simple envy. When one delights in the problem of others, if the others facing problem, others having difficulty, the others has been harmed, some devotee, then some devotee says, that serves him right. This is pure envy. The envy has three different functions. Envy. One is, I become sad when the other one is happy and having success. I become happy when the other person is suffering. And for no reason I hate the person. No reason. I don't know why. And that is envy. And that envy is one of the 5 factors that bring suffering into our own life. 5 things: ignorance, and dvesha, apratipatti, like that. So this will cause us suffering. When we hate someone or delight in the other's suffering, we suffer. Ja?
Und vor ein paar Tagen habe ich ja die Frage gestellt mit dem Fehlersuchen bei sich selbst. Vor ein paar Tagen habe ich die Frage gestellt mit dem Fehlersuchen bei sich selbst.
Ja.
Und du sagst ja, dass es wichtig ist, dass wir aufrichtig sind mit uns und uns auch beobachten. Und wenn ich jetzt Situationen bemerke, wo ich neidisch bin oder eine von den anderen 5 Eigenschaften, wie gehe ich in dem Moment dann um, außer zu sagen, ich bete darum, dass es mir genommen wird. Ich kann es ja selber nicht mir nehmen. Kann ich nur ins Gebet gehen oder kann ich den anderen um Vergebung bitten?
Vergebung ist nur, wenn du tatsächlich ihn geschadet hast. When you have harmed someone, in your thought you can't harm someone. You can harm yourself only.
Yeah.
But the other person doesn't get harmed. And you don't have to go and say, why, what is need. But when you're thinking ill of some other person, something bad about the other person, then you see, you have to then understand that you're not very advanced. And when you know you're not very advanced, don't give advice to others. Because there's a tendency to give advice to everyone. But I am not changing my character, but I'm giving advice to everyone. That's another form of hypocrisy. So better to remain quiet and work on yourself. Because the main thing is to develop good character. That is the main thing. It doesn't matter how much you read, how much you chant, do this, do that. How much good character. Because Krishna is attracted to your character, not your chanting. Yeah? The chanting is for myself in the beginning. Later on, the chanting is only for Krishna. That is different. But in the beginning, it's chanting only for myself, to improve myself. So just have to understand that I am actually harming my own self by criticizing others or finding fault in others. Those who have the responsibility, like the spiritual master, that they can do. There's no harm. But nobody else should do all this. Finding fault is a very dangerous thing. And that's why all our acharyas have made such an important point on that. Not to find faults and not to criticize. This has to be given up. And this we can do only ourselves when we become aware. Of course, we must pray to Krishna, we must pray to the spiritual master to give us the strength to be able to become free from envy and all that. We can pray. We have to pray. Then the help will come if we are sincere. Yeah?
Entschuldigung.
And to develop the character, can you say again what is needful or what is important for that? How can I?
The most important character is humility. That's the most important. Many of our spiritual masters have said that is the seed of good character. From this, all the other good characteristics come. This is the seed. And this is also the crown of all the characters.
Ich weiß nicht, wer es gesagt hat, ich glaube Pramod Puri Maharaj, dass wenn man nicht aufhört zu kritisieren und Fehler in anderen zu finden, dann wird man auch nie in der Lage sein, Namabas zu chanten.
Yeah. And this is a common knowledge, and many masters must have said this. That you see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's verse, Trinapadavi Sunichena, he says, Kirtaniya Sadahari means that one is chanting purely. One is chanting purely. So, what does it mean? I'm ready to give respect to everyone else. If I'm criticizing someone, how can I give respect? And I don't expect any respect for myself. If I have a false ego, how can I do that? When I'm free from false ego, then I don't want any respect. And so, the formula to chant purely is these 4 characteristics we have to develop. These are characteristics. This is character. Be more humble than a blade of grass. Be more tolerant. And always ready to offer respect to others. Each according to a person's position. It's not that you offer the same kind of respect to everyone. No. That is also not good. But respect. And not expecting any respect in return. Then, if one can develop even these 4 characteristics, enough. All other characteristics will come.
And Gurudev, why is it sometimes so hard to forgive? What does it need to in the character that you can forgive?
Well, that time you have to think that I pray to Krishna for all my mistakes so that he can forgive me. But when it comes to forgiving others, I don't. That is envy. That is envy. For me, I should be excused all my offenses. But for the others, no, not even one offense. So we have to change this type of mentality.
You mentioned that you start chanting. You start chanting with prema after nishtha, is it?
No, after bhav. Prem comes after bhav.
So before that, all the chanting you do is namabhas.
No. From the level of ashakti, it is already Shuddhanam. Shuddhanam. From ashakti. Because in the state of ashakti, Krishna appears, not in person, but his reflection appears. So just to see Krishna as he is, already you have to be chanting the pure name, because Krishna gets attracted to the pure name. And then he appears.
So at the end of Narada Muni's previous life,
Yeah.
which stage was he at?
He was actually in the stage of Ashakti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in that body he couldn't chant the pure name, otherwise that
And also Krishna himself did not appear. He heard the voice.
voice. Yeah, yeah.
So if one is chanting purely, then Krishna appears.
He did appear in the form of Paramatma, just in
In
a
the
wink
flash,
of an eye, in a flash. Yeah.
In the flash.
Just a flash.
Yes.
Of Paramatma.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.